Welcome to the presentation of HRchitect's HCM Technology Predictions for 2015 as part of our HCM Technology Leadership Series. I am Matt LaFata, President of HRchitect, and I am joined today by Jacqueline Kuhn, HRchitect's EVP of HCM Systems Strategy Consulting. So as a quick point of introduction, HRchitect is the leading HCM systems consulting firm, and we take this leadership position very seriously. Not only do we help organizations with strategies, evaluation and selection services, implementation services, change management, and more, but we also spend a lot of time around thought leadership and imparting our knowledge and research on the marketplace. So let's get right down to it. Jacqueline, it seems like every HCM consultancy and many HCM vendors like to make yearly predictions of some kind, and something we've also been doing for as long as I can remember. And this year we have 6 predictions that we're going to present, and I'd like to go through each one of those in no particular order and have you comment on what people can expect and or be prepared for. So the first one is greater realization of E2E HCM, and E2E HCM stands for end-to-end human capital management, a term that we introduced in our most recent HCM Tech Trends white paper, which, by the way, if you're listening to this and don't have it, you should go to our website and download it. It's got some great information. In fact, we're going to pause right here and wait while you go do it. Just kidding. We're going to move on. So, Jacqueline, on the first prediction, greater realization of E2E HCM, what is that? What does that mean, and what can people expect?
So end-to-end HCM goes beyond just having an integrated system with data, Matt. It talks to being able to use a process within your system that leverages all the data that is there. Think about a recruiting process that when you create a requisition and you put a salary component to that requisition, it'll go read the compensation tables and pull the right salary ranges. It can read from a job description and pull the right contents. So it's really more about when you're working with a process, being able to access all of the information you need for that process, regardless of where in the system it might reside. All major vendors by the end of this year will have recruiting, onboarding, and core HR as an integrated process that you can do in a single system. Most of them are going to also have a full talent suite so that in a single system you'll be able to do performance, succession, development, along with your recruiting and core HR and payroll. The last of the applications to be joining the HCM end-to-end process world is learning management. Some of them are there, such as SuccessFactors and SumTotal, and others are working towards it. So really what you want to look for is that true realization of process and data across all HR processes, so the HR professional isn't having to go to multiple systems, multiple places, using a job aid for this, a cheat sheet for that, or an Excel spreadsheet on top of their HCM.
Great. It's going to be exciting to see how it evolves. Obviously, everybody's working to get there. You know, a few years ago, everybody was working towards integrated talent management, and now end-to-end HCM is truly where the industry is headed. So let's move on to the second prediction, that 2015 is the year of learning. And, you know, learning continues to be important. We hear about this every year. And, in fact, we have a white paper around the diverse learners that exist today and the training challenges with that. So tell us a little bit about why we're predicting that 2015 is the year of learning.
So learning management has been around a while, and a lot of standalone point learning solutions have been developed over the years. Companies now are really looking to developing their employees as a huge key to retention. There is a war on talent. There are key jobs that you just cannot find in the marketplace without paying a premium price. Additionally, workers need to be trained to be managers and supervisors. Have a lot of folks, the 20-somethings and 30-somethings, that have never managed people, and they need to be developed to do that. And companies really have to look to develop them to replace those boomers that are going to be exiting the marketplace. So learning has become a huge interest in most companies that don't have it, and those that do are looking to up it a notch. They're looking for mobile, being able to get learning videos and snippets on a mobile app, just-in-time training, being able to have the employee and the learner indicate what they have learned on their own. People learn very differently nowadays. Nobody expects to go to a classroom to sit down and be instructed by a teacher. They want it online. They want it at their fingertips, and they want it just in time. And that's really what's going to be happening this year. Your learning systems have been upgraded and updated to adapt to that mobile online learner.
Excellent. Knowledge is power is never more true than as we move well into 2015. So prediction number 3, phablets and wearables will drive bring your own device, so BYOD, and greater demand for direct access. So tell us a little bit about that one, Jacqueline.
So the phablet, which is the phone-tablet combination, is probably the big game changer in direct access. Phones have been relatively small, and the viewing real estate maybe not that optimal for HR processes. But now that these vendors have these tablet phone combinations, they're a little bit bigger. They're not quite like a full tablet, but they're big enough where you can actually interact and transact. People are doing more with their phone. They're doing everything with their phone. There's an app for everything on your phone, and even HRchitect now has an app for folks that you can download and put on your phone. This is really stressing organizations to deliver information via that mobile device. Companies that don't have any direct access today are really behind the times, and they need to just move up to doing it via a mobile device. Forget about your basic manager self-service at a desktop. You've got to deliver it mobile. All of the vendors in the space today have mobile apps for approval processes, time entry, looking at your benefit statements, those things that people do on a regular basis and need access to on a regular basis. The next wave is going to take it to the next level and actually, enable transacting on that phablet. As I haven't coined that word. I'm not sure where I saw it, but I actually did see it at first in a cartoon. So, but the tablet phone, the phablet, is really going to change the demand that people have for access to information on their fingertips. The biggest impact, though, to corporate culture is that bring your own device. Because people have this great technology at their fingertips, studies have shown that the consumer has better technology than the employer is giving them. And now employers are going to have to figure out, okay, how do we incorporate what I use and what you use in the corporate setting, because that's our preferred device. Lots of challenges for HR, for IT, for corporate communications, for security, but that's going to be on top of mind this year. And most people will figure out a way to solve it.
It's definitely a challenge, though, and I think one that will continue and pose some interesting questions for employers, as you pointed out. So the next one really further highlights the continuing war on talent, and that is that social sourcing will continue to increase and surpass traditional recruiting avenues in some industries. So give us some highlights on that one.
So the best candidates today are just not posting jobs. They're not applying for jobs via the ATS. Engineering jobs, technical jobs, highly skilled professionals and leaders are not applying for work. They're either happy in their role, they're fully employed, and they're not going out to systems uploading a resume to a traditional ATS. The only way to get at them is through social media, whether it be Facebook or LinkedIn or Dice or one of those areas. It's the only way to get to them. The organizations that haven't solved how to source socially are not getting the best talent. It's that passive talent that is the best candidate now, and you need to get there. Therefore, a traditional ATS that doesn't allow this integration into the LinkedIns and the Facebooks where you can still track your rec and still have your recruiting processes, but now go out and source people via these social avenues and then bring their data in automatically, as well as a candidate, once I've been identified, asking me to just upload my LinkedIn profile. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to have a prepared resume. One click, my information out there is uploaded. That is what today's candidate is looking for, and that's what recruiting systems, some have it, some are developing it, but those that don't have it by the end of the year are going to dramatically see either people leaving for systems that do have it and not a whole lot of new sales. So that's going to be a focus this year for ATS systems.
Great. So another one, and this is around compensation, and we know that compensation is not just pay, and different workers like different kinds of perks and so forth. So that leads right into this next prediction, is that total rewards will take on a new meaning and include more than just pay and benefits. So enlighten us on that one, please, Jacqueline.
So study after study has shown that while pay is important, it's in the top 5, it's never number 1 in reasons for people staying with the company. Number 1 is culture and manager. It's either the culture of the company or the manager who I report to. To build that culture requires a lot more than pay and benefits. It's those other things that have been intangible, like flexible working arrangements, a Fitbit challenge like we have at HRchitect, things that build community, that build a sense of belonging. Those are the things that people want today in their workplace. The challenge has been HR systems traditionally haven't had a way to capture that, quantify that, and put that on a statement that says, this is your value, this is the value that you have working here, and this is what you're getting by working here. Systems are now beginning to try to figure out how to do that. Add that to your traditional components of comp and benefits. You also have vendors like Achievers and others that do nothing but recognition and rewards that are also trying to commoditize that. So that is the way to retain folks. That's going to be a huge retention tool and a huge trend we're going to be seeing this year.
Excellent. And so the last one, really, we live in a world of information overload and lack of patience, and everybody wants instant gratification, and they want it all to be easy. And so that leads us to the last prediction of it is all about the user experience. Now that may seem obvious, but tell us about that, Jacqueline.
So the user experience has actually taken on a whole new meaning, and it's almost a science. A person is not going to transact in a system if they find it difficult to use, if you have to train them how to use it. We do not have to be trained how to use any of the tools that we have commercially. We don't have to be trained how to use an ATM. We don't have to be trained how to, get into Facebook or LinkedIn or order from Amazon. We don't have to be trained. HR systems that are built the same way and are intuitive are those that are going to win the day. In fact, there are some vendors like Ultimate Software that are taking it to the next level. They have a lab that does nothing but look at how people interact with the system. They track eye movement and see where does a person's eye naturally gravitate to. Let's build those messages to those areas. Let's make sure that it's clear where one needs to go. Adoption, we've heard a lot about user adoption. The user experience just is all about that. It drives user adoption. And in this day and age, if you have to train somebody how to use a system when you deploy it, it's not going to be adopted, it won't be used, and it won't be successful. So those vendors who are uniquely positioned and have great user experience are those that are going to win.
Excellent. So there you have it, HRchitect 6 predictions for the HCM technology world, if you will. It'll be fun to look back at the end of this year and see how spot on we were, as it is every year. So, but for now, I'm Matt LaFata, and thank you to Jacqueline Kuhn for her Great insight, as always, on HCM technology trends. Watch for many more videos on our YouTube channel